Hello and welcome to episode 36 of Mad Dialogue with me, Michelle.
Me, Skylar.
I hope everybody is doing really, really well. We're going to just jump straight into it as normal. We thought we'd come with something a bit more fun and lighthearted because the last few weeks have been like a bit hard going. Do you know what I mean? So we thought we'd come back with another great sex experiment, part 3. Another reason why we're coming back with another one is because we have noticed that these videos seem to do better than others. So obviously some people like it. So, you know what I mean? We thought, why not? So we carried on from the previous episode, which was, it sort of featured them briefly, didn't it?
Yeah.
Which was a couple called Natalie and Tom. And then it also featured another couple called Tom and Kirsty. So do you want to talk a bit about the couples, Skylar?
Okay, see, I would, but I'm already confused.
Okay.
There's 2 Toms.
Oh, okay. Okay. So if we look at, let's look at Tom and Kirsty first.
Okay.
Tom and Kirsty being, he was bi-curious.
Okay, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
That couple. And then obviously Tom and Natalie, well, obviously you know the other couple. So do you want to talk a bit about Tom and Kirsty and their situation?
Okay. Well, okay, so because the thing is so that was the one when, and then she ended up going off
with those girls.
Okay, yeah. See, with Tom and Kirsty, I feel like, okay, first and foremost, the reasoning they came in is because he was bi-curious, and she's obviously supporting him in this thing where it's like, you know, finding himself basically, which is great, you know. But for me, it just seemed like they went to the party and split up, and it's like they didn't look back. It's like the only time they linked up after that was when they went to bed that night. That's how it was shown. I don't know how accurate that was, but that's how it felt.
What I noticed is as they were ready to leave the hotel room, he went to hold her hand, and I think she held it briefly, and then she pulled her hand away. I did pick up on that. When they parted ways, when they got to the party, see, this is where I got a bit confused, because I was like, okay, so they're really just there for his bi-curiosity, let's put it that way, yeah, to help him, which gave me the impression that their sex life wasn't great at that moment in time, because I didn't really hear them reference it. And so he went off, and then it just seemed like she was sort of just left to do what she was doing, because as the evening progressed and he was talking to that guy, because he did find someone, I think he liked him from the moment they turned up at the house, and he greeted them, his little shorts on. Yeah. And she was sort of just left to her own devices. So when those 4 women approached her, the 4 singles, and she was just sitting there, I have to be honest, that kind of made me a bit uncomfortable.
No. So prior from that, though, she was having a conversation with one of the singles from the first, when they first went in there. It was that the girl with the braids, the light skinned girl. But basically she was having a conversation.
Was her name Grace?
Grace, I'm pretty sure, yeah. And they were having a conversation about how the fact that she'd never, you know, tried anything with the women and everything like that. And I'm pretty sure that's what then led to it. And then she must have mentioned about,
I hear what you're saying,
experimenting, but then then the 4 of them together did.
The way how they sort of approached her, it made me feel a bit uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, I don't think that was even in her mind when they were going. I don't even think she was thinking
why not
what was going to happen.
Mentioned it then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't think she thought it through enough of what was going to happen with her, because it was really like she was doing it for him.
Yeah, most definitely.
So once again, it's that thing for me where I'm always like looking afterwards, like, hold on now. So what happens if she does enjoy it?
Yeah.
And then it starts making her question her
self.
You know what I mean? No, and then she realizes, like, do you know what? I'm not strictly dickly after all. And so therefore, how is he going to deal with that? And on top of it, what if he goes through with it and then realizes that's all it was curiosity. And it's not his cup of tea at the end of the day. I just feel like it's a big risk when these couples are going into these experiments. Do you know what I mean?
I think also if there's even like a part of that where you feel you want to do that in your relationship, like, then that's that, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it's either then it was either for him to stay curious, possibly unhappy, possibly cheat, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many other things where it's like, look, if you're having those thoughts but you know you don't want to leave the person, then it's understandable why I think someone would like make these decisions, and you do just kind of have to take those risks with it, you know what I mean?
think, you know, this is where people will take their vows seriously, or you'll see how serious, because it's like, okay, we're at this point in our relationship and I don't just want to throw away the relationship, because you know, I think people will look at it and say, okay, you know, when they sit and have a conversation, it's not that he doesn't love her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's a different type of love then if you look at it. Because when he was interacting with that guy, he just seemed like a different person to me. He was more bubbly in that. When he's with her, I'm not saying this in a bad way, he just seems pretty like... somber. But when he was with the guy, it's like he came alive type thing. I mean, he was kissing the man's nipples at the end of the night, which, by the way, Tom, you don't kiss the nipple, you lick it. Okay, lick it. Okay, sorry, just give him that tip there. But do you see what I mean? Did you get that impression?
I don't know. I took how he was acting more of nerves more than anything, because he just, to me, I got the vibes that he was feeling like excited, but like not uncomfortable, but you know what I mean? Like that thing where it's something new, but you're like kind of like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but that was how I viewed how he was acting. Like, I feel like, the way I act with Beckett, being comfortable with him compared to if I was in a new situation, you know what I mean? Like I feel like my mannerisms would be different, but yeah, that was what I took from it.
But okay, so Natalie and Tom. Now, Natalie felt no way. She didn't feel no shame. And you know what? That's all good for her. Do you know what I'm saying? But she was quite open when she said on her 17th birthday, she had 4 guys in her pool or whatever. Yeah. Whereas her husband, Tom, he blatantly said he's only ever known Natalie, which, you know, a man of his age, because they've only been together, like 5 years? Something like that. It wasn't very long, like in terms of, because the couple they were talking to, Gage and Olivia, they were together 13 years or something like that. So I know that it wasn't double digits that they've been together, but even so, Tom's ages and the fact that Natalie is the only woman that he's ever known, by his own words, that says to me that is a rare thing in this day and age. And so he then at this point has nothing else to compare her to. Not that he should, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, once you reach them ages, you would have had at least a couple of sexual partners. Do you know what I'm saying? And so you know what's what at the end of the day. So then to be in this situation now, and once again, she was the one that was all up for it and he was a bit reluctant, and he had one rule, which was no kissing. Okay. And she broke that rule.
Yeah.
And so then he did, because that's when they were in the hot tub with Josh and Holly, who were singles.
Yeah.
And he went in on that kiss. And then all of a sudden she felt insecure. And then she's starting to be like, okay, so what if he prefers it with somebody else compared to me? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, fully. I feel like with that as well, like, the fact that she was the only one that he's been with, the way I also looked at that is, she knows that, you know what I mean? Like, she knows in her mind, like, as a female, he doesn't have anything to compare her to. That she's the only one he's ever, you know, had sex with, and so on and so forth. So I feel like that would add more to her feeling insecure that way, because it's not even like, you know, how most females could be like, oh yeah, he has an ex-girlfriend that I know about, so like that. Like, she's never had that thing of a comparison, you know what I mean? Like,
and I'm not being funny. When they were in bed together, I was like, Rugo, you ain't really laying it down. She was a pillar princess. She didn't move out of that position. Well, I was watching the whole thing. Like, I'm like, girl, it's not going to be hard for him to find someone that is a little better than you in the bedroom. I'm just being honest, because she just laid there.
Yeah.
And then just made the noises, which for me, I was like, are they even real?
Yeah, they didn't sound.
They didn't, did they? Like, I'm not judging, okay? I was just observing, okay? Yeah. And this is just my opinion, yeah? When I was watching it, it just looked like it was, how do I put it? Like it was just robotic actions, like it's just a habit, like it's like they do it that way all the time. Do you know what I mean? There's no flavor to it anymore. There's no seasoning. Do you know what I'm saying? And so when they did get together with Precious, she even said she had a good time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And so that's why I said to you, I should be on the show as a sex tutor. And I would be there with the Kama Sutra book. And, you know, they'd be fully clothed during the lessons, but they could then like practice the positions. Do you know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion, because, they dropped the doctor in there like, and I'm not being funny, no shade to her. She's not saying anything that a mature adult wouldn't be able to tell people where it concerns their relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? But to how Natalie was performing in the bedroom, I'm like, girl, you need to do better than that. You need to fling up a leg or something. You know what I'm saying? You need to do a little bit more, because maybe that's why she's got secure in that, because he has no one else to compare it to. So she just got lazy. But they just look bored in the bedroom. I'm not saying that they don't have the love for each other, but they just look bored.
Yeah.
And so, but then at the same time, when you think about it, that would be one of the reasons why couples would take themselves there anyway, is because they're bored in the bedroom, no?
No, literally though.
You know? But yeah, so that was that. But no doubt we're going to be back with another one, because they're just too juicy. You can't leave them alone. I mean, I'm already curious to see what's going to happen with Tom and Kirsty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And how that's going to pan out, because, the previous ones that we've watched, this is the first bi-curious couple. Well, no, they weren't really, because there wasn't there another couple, but it wasn't him that was curious, but he didn't mind having a man in the equation.
The first one.
Yeah. But he wasn't bi, was he?
Oh, that was somebody else as well on Kirsty, I swear. That was another flipping...
Yeah, it was.
That was like a... Oh, who was that?
But yeah, but I'm sure there was...
Kirsty, but
I'm sure that couple, it wasn't that he was bi, but it was that he didn't mind a man coming into the equation. But this is the first couple where it's fully that he is bi-curious, So I would be interested to see how that pans out.
No, definitely.
Is there anything else you would like to
Connor
add?
And Kirsty. It was Connor.
There we go. Is there... I knew you'd have to find it, because it bothers you when you don't know the names. But is there anything else you want to add to that, sweetheart?
Not really, no. I feel like we've covered most of the episode.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Well, on that note, we will leave it here. Thank you so, so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much. I know I say this every week, but it's because we really, really do. Thank you. And as always, we are sending an abundance of love and light. Until next episode, it's goodbye from me, Michelle, and goodbye from Skylar.
Bye.
Bye.